as we move children out of the boxes of learning, they're now learning with a whole lot of other groups in different contexts, for example, in other countries. And so a really important new cognitive skill is to be able to understand where they are in terms of, a mashup of rule systems, really, which is just a whole other way. And before, acquiescence, obedience, conformity were all you had to teach, and then you had a rule system and they adhered to it. Now they've got massive judgments to make.
One of the things that we've got to understand is that children come to school as a learner already. It doesn't just begin when they come in the door. They come with knowledge, experiences and attitudes, and they come from, which I think schools have got to understand, they come from societies that have got a cultural framework. And these cultural frameworks have artefacts that have got cultural value and that resonate with learners. And I think it's important that we dive into these things and exploit them to our best advantage so we can build bridges between the world outside school and the world in school, so that children see school as a relevant place for them, that, as I said, that resonates with them, that it's a place they want to be. Children know where they are in terms of how school is structured. Yes. They know they're in the bottom group for maths, and that impacts on your self-esteem and your image. As learner, you know that I'm not good at this. But what the game did was it flattened that. And so children who were, let's say in level B, level C for maths, who weren't in the top group for maths, could take on people in the top group for maths and beat them at some of these challenges. And as I said, it flattened it.
What's not clear to me is the extent to which, say, the problem-solving skills that you learn in a gaming environment do actually transfer across to a workplace situation. In other words, do they enhance performance outside of the virtual environment?
It's quite a historical question. The idea behind chess was that it taught generals how to control armies. Now, I don't think there's any relevance to how you control an army in the real world. But of course, it may train your brain in other ways. But on the other hand, poker is a great example of a game that increases your skills in decision making, and especially about being able to walk away from investment, say, which has very real transferableness.
The question we're facing may actually be, how do we prepare companies for these children? Because they're coming out with a set of skills and capabilities which will allow them to work in different ways and do things they couldn't do before. And if we don't get them queued up now to the fact that this lot are coming, they'll either waste them or frustrate them.
What we have when we want to engage with players is we don't have a captive audience. We have an audience that is quite prepared to go elsewhere for their entertainment. And we absolutely have to teach them stuff in a way that entertains them. Because if we don't, we've lost them. And so again, there are strategies that we have as designers for teaching that are entertaining. I'd argue really that it's not necessarily, in terms of games, for example, about bringing games into classrooms. That might be part of it, but it's also about bringing the lessons about motivation into the classroom that aren't necessarily connected with technology. The solutions exist completely independent of technology.